Let's make an analysis of this book because it has won the Nobel Prize and many people have read it. I'm going to talk about all the insights that I have gained through this book. Talking about the settings first. The setting of the story is very important as it is set in Korea, South Korea. Out there are different beauty standards showing in his eyelid surgery, and there are also beauty standards that talk about wherein celebrities are anorexic. So this was also beautifully covered, the problem of anorexia. Another problem is of vegetarianism, and the accessibility of vegetarian food in Korea is so stint that the culture in Korea is not very acceptable towards food that is completely vegetarian or completely vegan. It feels like an alien idea, so it is a staple. So that was also beautifully shown. Of course, primarily it was all very patriarchal. The narratives were also very patriarchal, just to throw some light over how things are. The fast lust, the fiery lust of a man was very much there. Some parts of it were truly grotesque and blood gouging, and then even the intimate details were very much disgusting, because they like, no matter how much of an artistic venture it started out to be, it just turned out to be more and more disgusting eventually. Maybe that was the intent of the writer. So parental abuse and withdrawal was the main theme of the story. However, it wasn't something comprehensive. It wasn't comprehensive, it was rather muted. The tone of the entire book was grim, and it was muted. It was not comprehensive in a sense that there weren't people expressing their feelings very much. There were people who were upset. There were people who connected weird ideas so as to cope up with their traumas, so as to avoid the memories of the traumas and to adapt to some new lifestyle that is free of it, some dream. Of course, the entire another tone is dystopian. So the entire view of this book is very dystopian and depressing, that shows world in a very dark light. The artistic, the Mongolian mark being the continuous motive, or showing some cultural similarity, some connection. It was also a mark of uncontrolled sexual desires. I think by the end, Inhai got to know that she is trying to overwork herself so as to cope from the trauma of abuse. Meanwhile, the timid and young person who is the main character ended up becoming insane by attaching such ideas, because she had no point of escape. And the other idea was of burnout. Now, because of independence, what happens is women are expected to work, earn, and also look at the house. So looking for the housing stuff, then also looking for the husband and then kids, and also managing the job all single-handedly, while the man gets a leeway. The man, it's okay if he is not earning, if he is not cooking, if he's not taking care of the husband, wife, house. Eventually it's okay if he is also not loyal, because he's a man, he can get away with it. But the woman is always scrutinized, especially when she is at ruins. She is not really taken care of. So while removing all the personal grudges ahead, there was a sister looking out for another sister. There was a sister who regretted being so fearful and so silent and ignorant to have not stood up by her sister at the other side. But all in vain, it all ended in such a way that there was no concrete solution, showing that the society that we live in will not hold certain patriarchal constructs, certain familiar constructs, certain abusive constructs accountable. And hence there is the muted tone that comes into picture. There is loudness, there are loud reactions, but there is no reasoning behind it, there is no comprehensive explanation behind it. It just is, and you bear witness to however it is unfolding. Kaisa to ho raha hai. It is kind of at times even nauseating, so to speak. So yeah, this is what. And about how a woman should be. A woman is never sufficient no matter what she does. That is shown by both the brother-in-laws liking the latter's sister, their wife's sister. It's because whatever is lacking in my wife is there in the sister of the wife. Same thing happens, and that is how adultery takes place. So the complex plot that shows you no matter how much you do, you are never enough. If you are timid, if you are submissive, if you are independent, if you are nothing is relevant, nothing is enough if the man is not right. So all of these things tied in, the sufferers remain to be the women, the caretakers of the children remain to be the women, and children and women often suffer from such constructs that lack accountability. Hence this beautiful narrative of not giving a comprehensive explanation, a detailed explanation, is also very commendable, I would say, because that muted tone, it provokes your thought process. It makes you think in very complex ways and makes you tie up the plot. The plot is untied. So yeah, that is what I could perceive from it. I don't know why like it is so hyped. Maybe there are certain points that I might be missing out on, or certain understanding that I may not have had. But there were a lot of people who absolutely loved this. For me, because of the dystopian tone, and there was this point of no escape, point of no renewal, made it a little bit of a depressing read, which I particularly did not enjoy. Yeah, that's about it. That was my review. But whole and whole, the analysis of the tone and the setting, and of the untied plot, the thought-provoking narratives, male lust, male autonomy, female autonomy being a subject of mockery in this entire story. No matter how independent you are, you have no autonomy, and if you exercise your autonomy, you are going to exercise it in taboo ways. So it's a beautiful narrative. This is how I could interpret it. If you have any more interpretations, corrections, you can write it in the comment box. I hope you enjoyed the literature review, the analysis of this particular book. Bye bye. Run through, there was withdrawal, there was burnout, there was men getting away with things, men prioritizing their ambitions and getting away with their career or life responsibilities. It also covered a dystopian, dark, grim tone that was rather muted, that did not come with a comprehensive understanding of expressive characters. And this is how I could perceive it. Yeah, it came with grotesque, nauseating details, bloodshed, and a lot of disgusting lust manifesting into intercourses that unfolded through the stories, which were not a pretty read. Yeah, perhaps it was just to throw light on the darker side of the world as well. However, the lack of renewal, the lack of any development, and the continuous regression that progressed till the end was something that was not as appealing to me. Hence, I wouldn't call it my favorite. That's about it.